Hello YouTube, it's Sarah, and today I wanted to talk to you about Gemina by Aime, Kaufman, and Kristoff. I recently finished listening to the audiobook of this. This is the second book in the Illuminae files, and oh my gosh, it is just as good as the first one. If you are unfamiliar with the Illuminae files, the first book in the trilogy is Illuminae, and it's about a company trying to cover up what they shouldn't have been doing. So there's politics, there's espionage, there's battles, there's everything you could possibly want, all in one trilogy. In fact, it's jam-packed into each and every book. If you have not yet read Illuminae, you may not want to view this video yet. I may get into some spoilers as far as the Illuminae book goes. Gemina picks up kind of where Illuminae left off, but we've now taken it to another space station. Last time we were on a ship, now we're on a spaceship, now we're on a space station. When last we left our heroes from Illuminae, they were on the Hypatia heading for Space Station Heimdall. Gemina takes the point of view from the Heimdall station, so we don't really get into what happened on Hypatia until almost the end, when Hypatia is finally nearing the space station Heimdall. Knowing that Hypatia is on its way to Heimdall, though, Baytech has launched its operatives to try and stop them from arriving, and basically take down Space Station Heimdall in the process. Our main characters are Hannah, who is the space station captain's daughter, pampered princess, but she's a kick-butt princess. Like, will literally wipe the floor with you, so don't mess with her. And Nick, who is part of a crime family, the drug dealer for Hannah, drug supplier for Hannah, and the two must team up to save Heimdall. When you're reading these books, they are told from analysts' perspectives, writing reports or a rundown of the video analysis, and seeing or hearing these things, I can't even explain it because you're still in the moment with the characters, but at the same time you're not, and it's just this flawless, seamless view of what is going on. So it still feels like you're there with the characters even though you're not. It's hard to explain. The audiobook is narrated by Carla Corvo, Steve West, PJ Orchland, I hope I'm saying that right, and a full cast. So there are so many players in this book, and it's fun to hear all the different voices. It's almost like watching a TV show or your favorite movie, except it's an audiobook that you can take anywhere. Another good thing about the and even Illuminae, it's almost like the two together, but the character development is done in such a way that you don't even realize you are learning about the character's past or history, because at the time they're learning about each other's history. Something would happen and it's like, wait, how did you know that that's how that was going to work? And then something comes out about their history. The character development is totally awesome. You don't even realize you are learning about the history. Hannah, for example, Nick has this pet name for her of Princess or Pampered Princess because she seems like this pampered princess. She's Daddy's little girl. And come to find out, Daddy has trained her to totally defend herself. She didn't really have a childhood. She's learned all these different like martial arts and the art of this and the art of that, and she's very knowledgeable too. She talks about like Nick is her drug supplier, but she uses that same drug later in smaller doses to help relieve pain, but she knows just enough because she explains that she never uses anything she hasn't fully researched and looked into. So she understands the effects that these drugs, or this drug, will have on her and others, which was kind of interesting. I've never done drugs, but I would assume that most people do them just to try them, see what happens, where she's actually taking this drug because she's done research into it, and she knows what its effects are, how much she can take, how much she cannot take, and the limits of the drug. And the storytelling, I can't even put it in words. I'm struggling here. It's weird in some ways having the story told in this like almost dossier type format, but at the same time you get an outsider's point of view. There is commentary of like video recordings, and they're talking about how the person is like sneaking through the hallway, and so there's this ability to switch between first and third person in the book, and it works. Usually a book will stick with either first or third person, but this gave Jay and Aime the ability to have that switch off and explain how somebody is moving, trying to creep through the hallway so that they can't be caught, or hey, there's this other thing looming around the corner but unbeknownst, and oh no, and here it comes, and she totally, kicks some ass kind of thing. And in a way it helps hype up the suspense, because now suddenly we as the reader, this even further like outside person, know that there's this thing, right, this creature that nobody really thought about being there. I'm trying not to spoil too much. There's this creature that's, hiding in the vent and waiting to strike, and oh no, what's gonna happen? Is it going to strike? Is it going to let the person pass? How, is this person going to die? And there is one scene in particular with Nick's cousin who is helping him and Hannah with the computer digital aspect, and my understanding from how she's described is she doesn't have the ability to move around like you or I would be able to move around. She doesn't have, I don't think she has mobility of her legs. She's stuck to a bed. So she just sits there in her bed and types away at the keyboard. And then we suddenly get this third person point of view that, oh no, there's this thing in the air vent and it jumps out at her and is attacking her, and then there's the suspense of not knowing if she's okay or not. That was like the worst. Not knowing if she was like dead or alive or what's going on, and then you have to wait so long to find out what the outcome was. But hey, it's all good. Needless to say, I very much enjoyed both Illuminae and Gemina, so if you haven't gone out yet, go get Illuminae, and if you've read Illuminae, get Gemina. You will not be disappointed. Those are just some of my thoughts on Gemina by J. Kristoff and Aime Kaufman. Thank you for stopping by, and I will see you next week with a new video. TTFN!